Gustavo Kuerten and the Rainer Schuettler 2-5. Schuettler leading. Schuettler losing the first set to Kuerten. 2 breaks, 6-2 first set. We were going to bring you the men's singles final, but because it rained yesterday, we've got a little bonus coverage here. Men's semi-final live following this. It'll be the women's singles final. Lindsay Davenport and Kim Clijsters men's singles final, ESPN2 this afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Time, live.
Schuettler is one of the fittest players on the tour in the men's game right now, and credits a lot of his success to in the off-season. Cliff, back in Germany, does a lot of taekwondo, a lot of training, and I'll tell you, this guy can run all day long, and that's his biggest asset, his conditioning, his speed.
He's been doing the taekwondo since he was 18.
I was talking to Leighton Hewitt a little bit yesterday and looking ahead to the final, whether it was going to be Kuerten or Schuettler, and he had a very interesting comment as you see this replay from Kuerten taking that ball early. He said Schuettler doesn't have that big weapon, but he's a complete package, so his whole game together is very solid. Kuerten with a big first serve.
And Kuerten holds on, so it's 5-3 now, second set.
And it's interesting that a guy like Schuettler now can be so successful, Cliff, because we talk about the power in the men's game and you need to have a weapon, etc. Schuettler doesn't really have the power or a big weapon, but he's so solid and mentally he's so strong that he frustrates a lot of his opponents.
Schuettler getting to the Australian Open final this year in a huge surprise. Last year at the Australian, he beat Carlos Moya and went out to Roger Federer. Beat Moya in 5, and Federer beat him in straight sets, but 2 tie breaks.
Saw some of those highlights of Kuerten's career in Tennis Masters Series events, and of course Guga's won 3 French Open championships. As we see Schuettler moving the ball around well, stepping around to hit the inside-out forehand. Kuerten's also won one of these big events on hard courts. That was in Cincinnati in 2001. Beat Patrick Rafter in the final.
15 love Schuettler, 5-3, serving for the set now.
Oh, that's just well done by Schuettler. The speed, his coach there, Derek Kordorf, been with Rainer for many, many years and reaping the benefits of all their years of work. Last year especially, he gets up to that ball and then plenty of time. It's a high percentage play to go inside out there. You're going over the lower part of the net. And you have a lot more court to work with. That's why so many of these players love that inside out forehand. Sneaky second serve there.
Set points for Schuettler coming up. Schuettler trying to, in fact, succeeding now in breaking out of the shadows of Kiefer and Haas, the 2 top players from Germany for so long, and in turn they trying to break out of the shadows of Boris Becker, Michael Stich. Set points here for Schuettler. Becker costs the longest shot of all.
And not just his game, Cliff, and his Grand Slam titles, but his personality, his persona in Germany. So it's been so popular there. There's the set to Schuettler.
So a third set will decide who takes on Leighton Hewitt in the...
Just had the Pacific Life Pac-10 College Hoops Tournament as well. Oregon, surprise winner, beating USC in the final just a couple hours west of here.
Tom has been doing a little traveling
yes.
From here to there. 15 all, first game, third set.
Unforced error from Kuerten. The winner, of course, will take on Leighton Hewitt, who's took on couple Americans, Ginepri in the quarters, and Spadia. What a week he had. There are 5 Americans actually made it to the quarterfinals. Blake, you see down there, Andy Roddick, Brian Vahaley, and the University of Virginia. So some noise made by some young Americans, but not able to go the distance.
Nearly a loud noise made by Yunus El-Anawi over Leighton Hewitt. He had 3 match points over Hewitt in the first round here. He beat him in Australia, El-Anawi, but could not convert, and Hewitt is in the final. 30 all. And Kuerten facing a break point. He's a little subdued here today, Patrick.
A little early for him. Going to come out this early. It was a difficult day for the players yesterday to play a set. They waited around till after 7 o'clock at night. Then they have to come out extremely early.
(9:45) is local Pacific time now.
To come out here at 9 a.m. to start this match local time.
Break point.
Oh, that is beautifully done. And now Guga trying to get some emotional energy going, which he used so successfully against James Blake in the quarterfinals. He opens the court up, he sneaks in. And you have to be perfect with that volley because Schuettler's speed is always a threat.
Speaking of Blake, Schuettler beat Blake in Australia. He also beat Andy Roddick before he lost to Agassi in the final.
Well, it's very unusual, Cliff, for the players to start even before 11 a.m. in a tournament like this. It's usually the earliest, sometimes 10. So for these guys to have to come out, that means they've got to wake up at probably about 6 o'clock in the morning.
Poor babies, it's a test.
It is, but it's a different type of situation for these guys. And we're talking about a semi-final.
Of this Masters Series. Game point here.
I'm just giving you the facts, Cliff. You want the facts.
I hear you. I hear you. Oh, that's very strong from Schuettler. Total disguise, because Kuerten is quick.
So that's Guga-like, really. The court sense that Schuettler shows. You knew that Kuerten was way behind the baseline after a forcing forehand, and then just comes under. And he's playing with so much confidence, Schuettler. Play a shot like that. Very, very composed.
Very laid-back Brazilian from the island of Florianopolis. They have 60 different beaches on that island, and he is a huge surfer dude. Very laid-back. Struggle in this first game of the third.
Kuerten telling himself, get over there, cover that backhand up the line. That's his coach, his longtime coach, Larry Passos, there with the hat. He's the emotional energy that Kuerten looks to.
Passos told me a couple of days ago that he's trying to get this man Kuerten to show his passion and his emotion again.
When it was difficult for Guga to do that throughout most of last year, Cliff, because of that injury. He was always concerned about how that hip would hold up and if he'd be able to get through a long match, if he'd be able to play in a hard court successfully again, and he's overcome all that now. By the way, his last 3 tournament wins, Cliff, have been on hard court.
Yeah.
Kuerten.
Yeah.
It's a good 2. That'll get him pumped up.
That is not to say that hard court's his best surface. As we've said, he's a 3-time French Open champ on the slow red clay of Europe. Guga Kuerten wins the first game of the second. When he was 6, his parents helped start a club that had 2 hard courts. That was down in Brazil. Coming up, Kleisters and Davenport. Live coverage here on ABC of the championship match of women's singles. Lindsay Davenport, USA. Kim Kleisters ended up winning the year-ending championship last year, beating both Serena and Venus Williams.
And how close was she to beating Serena at the Australian Open this year? Oof. Was it 5-1 in the third? Lindsay Davenport, resurgent, coming back from her knee surgery, and she took out Capriati in a great match in the semifinals here.
Whoa.
Oh yeah, with Guga, there's his court sense.
That's artistry.
Again, Schuettler trying to take advantage of court position where Kuerten is, but this one not good enough. Guga knows how to reply.
15. 15-year-old Guga Kuerten has got a special bond with his younger brother, Guillaume, who has cerebral palsy. Talks about him a lot, constantly involved with charities, helping youngsters.
Schuettler didn't like the call off of that Kuerten return. He was waiting for a call from the lines person and didn't get it. Kuerten now has an opportunity at 15-30.
He was down to break point in his first serve game in the third. Thirty-all.
30.
Break point.
30.
Kuerten.
That's Kuerten imposing his weapons there. He got heavier ground strokes and is able to push Schuettler back behind the baseline. Here's his 5th break point opportunity. Oh, that's a bad miss there. That was a very slow first serve, 90 miles an hour only, right down the middle of the box. Kuerten just mistimed it. That's a terrible error.
Not playing tennis yet this year, questioning about whether he'll come back. And another look at this great pass from Schuettler, who's got game point. Agassi pulled out here with an injury.
A shoulder injury for Agassi. Was here actually practicing this previous weekend. But, 2 days before, decided it wasn't healthy enough for him to give it a go.
From the net, and it's deuce again. Long game. Nice to see Guga Kuerten back here, Patrick, isn't it?
He brings so much flair and